Hello everybody and welcome to our MXGP TV live studio show here. We are at round 5 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Portugal, and once again we have another packed show full of guests, one of which is already in place here, but we'll meet him in a moment. But Lisa Leyland, we're back in sunny Portugal, kind of.
Yeah.
Another packed show and a couple of interesting guests as well.
Yeah, a couple of first-timers. We'll go easy on them. We won't be too harsh. But yeah, we've got Henry and Livy, so it'll be nice to chat with them.
And we've also got Jeffrey Herlings coming up as well, splitting the other two guests that Lisa just mentioned there. But without further ado, let's crack on then with our studio show here and welcome Mr. Henry Jacobi, pretty much a man of a moment right now for STC Husqvarna, or Racing Husqvarna, I should say. Welcome to our studio show. First time for you. We will talk about Trentino in a moment, but for people who don't know you, you've been around the paddock now since around 2011, but tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, when you had your first race, how long you've been riding, what was your first bike, you know, just some brief background.
Yeah, I started when I was 3 years old, so at Ken Roxon's track.
Yeah.
So he lives just 10 kilometers from me, so was basically not so far. So I started there, and yeah, I was 85 junior world champion in 2010. The year after I broke both of my feet, so kind of went like 1 year off. That was difficult to find the next step again, but yeah, now I'm here. So I went through the 125 European Championship, also 250s, and yeah, then with Saarholz, I went to the MX2 class, and now I'm with STC Racing for 2 years.
Well, you just mentioned a moment ago you were the 85 FIM Junior World Champion. That happened in France. You remember who you beat that day? Who finished second?
Yeah.
Tim Geiser, no less. So, and it's obviously interesting to see the difference. And I don't mean this in a negative way. You know, you just mentioned that you broke both feet, took a year out, and that kind of thing. So maybe this explains it. But you know, it's just one of those things. But impressive anyway to be FIM Junior World Champion.
Yeah, for sure. It was. This day was the best of my life so far, but kind of beat it last week.
Yeah, well, let's talk about last week. Congratulations on your first MX2 podium. Was that something that you expected, or were you surprised by your performance?
Yes, I was surprised. So I didn't know that I was that good, but.
This, I think, the footage from the first race here. Great battle with Thomas Kjær Olsen. Obviously, he passed you around this next turn. But what I liked about this race was towards the end when you attacked. You didn't give in. You know, you continued to push. What was it like being in this race with someone like Thomas?
Yeah, I saw him. He was like all the way behind me, and once I started gapping him a little, he just fighted back, and then. Yeah, I made a mistake up the hill, so he came through. And then I started like thinking, oh, it's okay if you finish third or fourth, it's still the best you ever did. So, but then I saw him doing mistakes, and then I saw why not passing him back, and yeah. And
that was it. And a fair move, aggressive move, but fair. You know, there's no problem, a racing thing, 50%. But look at that reaction. It seems like a lot of years of frustration unleashed there on the podium.
Yeah, I was very emotional also for everyone around because nobody was expecting that. And we've been through like many years with not getting what you want.
Sure.
So, because sometimes, you know, you are getting junior world champion and you think everything is working from alone, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you need to like work harder than anyone else if you beat them.
Sure.
I mean, you said you were surprised, but from an outside perspective looking in, perhaps not. We don't seem that surprised because I mean, you ran in third in Valkenswaard for pretty much most of the race. You took the whole shot in Spain. So it does seem from our perspective that you have actually raised your game in the past few GPs.
It seems like that because I started also in Argentina in the first race.
Yeah.
I was fifth or something. Yeah, fifth. And yeah, I was unbelievably happy because I didn't expect that. So, but for sure, if you can finish that one time, why don't finish it the second, third?
Well, you continued it here in Valkenswaard. Unlucky in the second race to crash while you're in third place. I think maybe at one point you were on the podium overall there before you made that mistake. So it must have been, again, running top 3 must have been like different emotions, like so high and then not finish. Must have been, you know, pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I cried a lot.
Yeah. Last week was tears of joy.
Yes, it was okay. But I was really sad because I saw also Thomas behind me the whole race, and he wasn't coming so close. He came close, then I roosted him a little bit with the sand, and so he faded back a little. I really was sure that I can hold this until the finish line.
Well, we are almost out of time here, but after winning the junior world title, what is it that has held you back? Was it just that following year where you broke the feet and it took a long time to come back?
Yeah, probably. And also, like, it was the feet and maybe also a little bit of myself going not 100% with the training and stuff.
Yeah. All right, we'll go straight into social media.
Yeah, social media questions for you. First one's from Levi.kfm, and he says, how did it feel getting a podium after many bad seasons?
Last week, Trentino.
It was unbelievable, like, for everyone around. And it made it even special because my complete family was there. So my sister was there, my nephew, her son.
Yeah, nephew.
Nephew.
And her husband, everyone around who supports me, like, they come not to every race, but whenever they can, they come. So everyone was there, so it was really special.
Totally worth the wait. Okay, well, we have another social question for you from Jesus.
No, je suis, I think that is.
Je suis
He probably is Jesus.
Sorry, my accent's not very, my French accent's not very.
I think. But
yep. Do you still sleep in the Superman T-shirt since Trentino?
Yeah, I got it from Under Armour. That's like a Superman functional shirt.
Yeah.
And whenever I feel something special coming, I put it on.
Yeah.
And I had it in the qualification race on Saturday, which was also really good.
Yeah.
And in the first motor of,
So now it's like your lucky shirt almost.
Yeah.
It's strange how riders have these.
But I don't know. I don't have it with me this time.
Okay. let's not talk about that then.
That's okay.
Well, look, Henry Jacobi, thanks for joining us in here today. Hope those questions got answered for you over there in social media land. Congratulations on your podium last week. All the best this weekend and for the rest of the season. Henry Jacobi, STC Racing Husqvarna. Right, our next guest is here, Jeffrey Herlings. We'll meet him in a moment. But before that, let's see how MX2 Race 2 played out in Trentino 1 week ago. When the gate dropped for MX2 Race 2, once again, all eyes were on Prado, and he did not disappoint. A second foxhole shot of the day, his third of the season. This time he was closely followed by the 64 of Thomas Covington, the number 10 of Calvin Verlandren, and again, the fast-starting German, Henry Jacobi. He nudged himself past the 10 of Verlandren to go into third place. And just behind them was the 18 of Sever Brylyakov of Russia on the Khmer Yamaha. He too found his way past Verlandren, who did not record a single lap in race 1. So it took a little while for him to get into the swing of things in the second moto. Brylyakov went around the outside of Jacobi. He moved to third. And just like race 1, Jorge Prado was looking cool, calm and collected at the head of the field. Verlandren then went back past the 29 of Jacobi. He pushed the German rider down to 4th position as he started to charge towards the front. And the number 1 of Paul Jonas once again had to work hard through the field. Got a bit of a headache as well as he collided with the rear wheel of Jacobi. Both riders went sprawling to the deck and it looked for a moment like they would both be off the podium. Off the side of the track though was Thomas Kjær Olsen after a collision with Bas Vassen on the 114 Motorsports Honda. Thomas Kjær Olsen would pick himself up, but Vassen would retire from the race. Thomas Covington was in no mood for messing around for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. He shadowed Jorge Prado for the whole race. He had 1 or 2 opportunities, but not one of them stuck until the final lap. The lap that mattered, of course. An aggressive move up the inside of the Spaniard saw the American go through. 6 corners from home. Back markers
were all over the circuit, and they were a concern for the American. But undeterred, he went on to take his first race win of the season in what was a fantastic display of heart and pride. The 61 of Prado, though, was victorious overall in the Grand Prix with a win and a second. Covington on the podium for the first time this year, but so too a first career podium for Henry Jacobi. But it's Paul Jonas who continues to lead the championship, but he's only 28 points clear now of his teammate Jorge Prado. Thomas Kjær-Olsen drops to third, but what a fantastic day for Jorge Prado. He's back-to-back winner now here in Trentino. Thomas Covington second overall, but a career first for Henry Jacobi in STC Racing. Husqvarna on the podium for the first time in MX2.
Welcome back to our studio show. I'm just looking at our little timing screen here. We are on time for the first time since we ever did this. It's amazing. But Jeffrey Herlings is our second guest. He's in position, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. And Jeffrey, a year ago when we put you on the studio show, we asked, you know, can the real Jeffrey Herlings please stand up? You'd gone missing. But you've been present right from the very first round. You're coming into round 5 with the championship leaders red plate. It's been a completely different start to the season to last year.
Yeah, definitely. You know, coming into last year, man, you know, we broke our hand just 2 weeks before the season started, and that basically missed out on our chances for the championship. You know, when it's, I mean, it's a long championship, but when you come into the races unhealthy, and then you know you can only ride around and basically just get a few points, it's not enough. You know, in this championship, you need to be fully fit and committed and, you know, be in shape, and that was not the case last year. But this year, you know, we had a good winter. We've been injury free for a little while, you know, right now. So it's that was good, and you know, I feel like on top of my game, and it feels like the good old bullet is coming back.
Yeah. Well, given how you began last year with your hand injury, slightly off the pace, how important is it to start the year with a positive start as you did it in Argentina?
It's very important. You know, like in Argentina was one of the best races I've done in my career. As you can see the pass on Cairoli, you know, I came back from like.
Did you forget to brake?
Oh yeah, I just missed the rear brake. No, I'm just kidding. Like I came in so hard, and I knew I just had one lap to do it. So I was like, whenever I get a small chance, I'll just take it, and then I made it. I barely made it in time, so it was a great victory. Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, Tony wasn't done at this point just yet. I think there was one small mistake from him. I don't know, a handful of corners later, maybe there even. But as you said, important to get off to a good start, and you know, you left there with the red plate and went home with the red plate as well, which is nice.
The most funny was that Tony basically was leading like all 40 laps, and I just led like half a lap. And
I said that in question.
I went home with the overall and the red plate, so that was pretty funny. But I felt like I was on top of my game that Sunday, you know, because of the Saturday crash. I didn't have a good gate pick, so the starts were average. But twice I came back to his rear wheel, and even the second motor I passed him. So that was a great start to the season, and especially, you know, from how we started off the year before.
All right. Absolutely. Well, more from Jeffrey in a minute, but do you want to know how you can find out to win loads of exciting prizes with MXGP? Well, this weekend we have a little competition for you from the guys at Polysport. All you have to do is guess the MXGP podium from Portugal from this weekend here. Those who enter will automatically be in the draw to win a Polysport bike stand, an MXGP TV season package, and an MXGP3 video game. So what are you waiting for? Enter now, and the contest closes this Sunday at 5 p.m. and that's the visual there. So check that out on our social media as well.
Go to mxgp.com. There is a link with that visual. But let's talk Trentino then, Jeffrey. You went into the lion's den, as you called it, head first, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you came out with 2 wins, the overall, the red plate. Is that one of your biggest wins, would you say, or maybe one of your best?
One of my best, I would say. You know, to come out to, like you just mentioned, the lion's den, you know, it was his back ground, let's say. So he knew the place. You know, he's Italian. It was an Italian event, so he was very motivated to win, especially on the track where he's always been pretty good at. And
especially last year, because
he came from almost dead last to second and win the GP. So, and to beat him like straight up, you know, Saturday and the qualifying moto, and especially second moto, you know, I beat him straight up, and and get them. So that was pretty amazing. And I think the starts were really key, especially on that track, because actually the start was very equal for everybody. So I just had really good start for myself. And yeah, then to go 1-1 there, it was good. You know, it was a happy moment right there.
Yeah.
You mentioned the starts, and we saw you pull the foxhole shot.
Yeah.
Last year you took one in Vilas, but
last one.
you know, you took one in the qualifying, you took one in the race one. So what happened? What changed with your starts last
Harry
weekend?
Holshot, look in the corner.
Yeah, look in the corner, like I'm gonna be there first. I'm gonna be there first. So yeah, as you could see, you know, it was just a great start. I think both motors were, you know, and I was pretty far to the inside. But you know, like you see, I was one bike up front, so that was really good. And we've been trying some different things on the bike, and it's some inside information which obviously can't speak about, but we really been improving that, and until now it's been proven to be better. So hopefully this weekend we get shut out the gate like a bullet again.
Absolutely. Well, we've got some questions on social media for you, Jeffrey. First one's from Mayris601, and she says, "What's the key for that good riding?"
What's the key? I think it brings a lot of commitment. You know, you have to wake up every day with a dream and believing that you can get there one day, and that's how I always wake up. Like, you know, it's a God blessing to be able to do what I'm able to do. So you need to wake up every morning and keep believing in the dream, and that's what I do. And obviously, you need to be talented when you get born, but still, it's also a gift from the man above, I would say.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, second question from Norpor. How old were you when you had your first race?
My first race when I was actually on my birthday, because I got 6 years old in Holland. You had to be 6 years to do your first race on a mini, like a 50cc. So I was, the day I got 6 years old, I was straight to the race, and I didn't even win. So that was good.
Did you have number 84 at the first race?
Number 25.
Okay.
I got number 25.
So you got fed up of being Clement de Sal, and you decided to create your own identity.
I created my own identity. 84, my number.
How's the track here? We've got about a minute to go. A lot of people this week were talking about, you know, so much rain, it's going to be a disaster. But I was here on Thursday. They turned the track completely upside down. I think it looks fantastic. What's it like to ride, though?
I'm going to tell you one thing. This is the best track I've seen all year long. Because now it's really like in the US, I would say, like it felt like in each turn you got like 10 lines. You can basically overtake everywhere. You have some soft spots, which you should not underestimate. But like now, because of the rain we had, you get so many line options. I think they should basically just leave the track like it is today. Because it's until now, it's perfect. So hopefully the rain stays away.
Brilliant.
All right. Well, look, Jeffrey Herlings, we are out of time. But congratulations on the start of the season so far. You arrive here round 5 back with the red plate in your hands and on the front of that Red Bull KTM. All the best today and for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Jeffrey Herlings. Right, Livia Lancelot in her new role is getting ready to join us. But before we meet her, the new team manager for Honda 114 Motorsports, let's see what happened in Trentino a week ago. MXGP Race 2 highlights coming up now.
After winning Moto number 1, Jeffrey Herlings was all keyed up for a repeat performance in race 2, but it was his teammate Tony Cairoli who grabbed the foxhole shot for the 6th time in 2018. Sean Simpson went down with Tim Geiser and Julian Lieber in turn 2. Up front, though, all 3 KTMs occupied the top 3 positions, led out by Tony Cairoli. Jeffrey Herlings slotted neatly down the inside of Glenn Koldenhoff, as de Sal, Pacharel and Van Horbik gave chase. The fans were on their feet and they were getting ready to witness another epic between the 222 and the 84. But a mistake from Cairoli allowed Herlings into the lead. He thought the bullet was going to go one way, and by the time he rectified the situation, it was too late. Herlings was through and into the lead. Behind them, Jeremy Van Horbik on the blue Yamaha number 89 started to pick up the pace. He eventually found his way past the number 6 of Benoit Pacharel to get himself into 5th place, as Cairoli continued to dog his teammate Jeffrey Herlings. Keeping a watching brief was the 259 of Glenn Koldenhoff. But his time in 3rd position eventually came to an end as de Sal went through on the Dutchman. And he was looking good for a podium. Siwa on the Wilvo Yamaha also put in a great performance, and it was one of those come-from-behind rides for Tim Geiser yet again. He found his way past Pacharel. Eventually, he came home in 8th. The 141 of Maxime Dupre on the Gebben van Venrooy Kawasaki also put in a good ride. He eventually came home in 11th. and offered up plenty of resistance to the 2-4-3 of Tim Geiser along the way. Geiser, you could hear his voice shouting at the back markers who were holding him up, but eventually he found his way past Dupre. Siwa went down though, and that was an easy gift for one or two riders as they picked up valuable points. A mistake from Van Horbeke allowed Paulin through in the closing stages of the race. Paulin would eventually come home in 5th, edging the Yamaha race back to 6th ahead of his teammate Roman Fevre. But it was a double sensational moto win for the 84 of Jeffrey Herlings, his 5th race win of the year and his 70th career Grand Prix victory. Tassal was on the podium in 2nd, Cairoli was 3rd, but Herlings is now 10 points clear of Cairoli at the top of MXGP. Tassal is still 3rd, but he is now 36 points behind Cairoli, 46 behind Jeffrey Herlings as we head to Agada, round 5. But there's a real tug of war between the MXGP red plate, between Cairoli and Herlings so far in 2018.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our studio show here, MXGP TV, with myself and Lisa Leyland. Our 3rd guest has joined us now, Livia Lancelot, of course, former women's motocross world champion, now in her new role, working for Honda 114 Motorsports as a team manager. Welcome to our studio show. The first time you've been on, because normally we just feature the MX2 and MXGP riders, but as you've retired and stepped up to management, we thought we'd bring you along and yeah, welcome to our studio show. But first of all, how are you finding your new role as team manager?
You know, it's totally different from being a rider, but I really enjoy it. You know, it's like I say, yeah, it's different. I come to the races with a stress, but different than when I was riding. So I really enjoy it. This was a dream. Like Jeffrey says, you know, before you have to wake up every morning and fight for a dream. And actually, I fought for my dream to be world champion for so many years, and it was also a dream to, you know, achieve some experience and be able to still work in this sport after my riding career. And actually, the dream is coming true, so it's good.
How different is it running Honda 114 Motorsports compared to running your own team as you did the last few years as a rider?
Actually, it's exactly the same job, but 10 times harder. Okay. 10 times bigger, you know. So
10 times more busy.
More busy, definitely. No, it's a little bit harder because of course there is much more person and everything. So.
And how did the team come together though? Because for many years you're obviously riding for Kawasaki, and then you know, obviously now you retired and you're straight in with Honda. And what's it like working with these guys here? You know, Hunter Lawrence and Bas Vassen.
It's awesome, you know. I really enjoy working with them, and honestly, they are really good to me. You know, like they really believe in what I say. They trust me. So they are easy. You know, they are easy to work with. Yeah. I really enjoy because they are totally different, both of them. You know, I don't have the same relationship with them, but it's really cool, you know. I enjoy being at the races and listen to them. So
what are you saying, that Bas is the funny one and Hunter is the boring one?
Yeah, that's exactly what I say. Hunter is really boring and too slow, and
just,
you know, like
not funny.
Not funny. No, no, totally not. Hunter is really funny, and Bas as well. But when I say they are different, it's more in the riding way and the way they come to the races. Yeah. They are different than this, but they are really both good kids and funny guys.
Good. Absolutely. Well, let's go back to Patagonia. Pretty much a perfect start to the season for you as a team manager to have Hunter on the podium right from the start.
Guess it couldn't have gone any better, really.
No, actually, I couldn't expect better from Argentina. You know, I couldn't expect better than start my career as a team manager on the podium. You know, from MX2 races already. So. Yeah, it was the best start ever I could expect, and it was a little bit too much, you know, because now I expect even more, you know. So so now it's like we were almost disappointed on the second round when no one was on the podium or not going for a win, you know. So yeah, I think it was almost too much actually to start.
Yeah, well, we did miss Hunter last time out in Trentino. Can you give us an update on his injury and when can we expect to see him again?
Yeah, sure. So Hunter crashed during time practice and broke a little bone in his hand. So he had to give up on the weekend, and it was definitely more smart to not race this weekend. Hopefully it will be okay for Russia. He's working really hard with his physio and doctors to get back as soon as possible, but 100%. I'm not saying as soon as possible and doing bullshits, you know. So
yeah, more damage.
He should be okay for Russia.
Has he had to have surgery or not, or is it
No.
just it's more of a crack than a
Yeah, it's a
complete
little
break?
crack, so it's not like completely broken. So he should be okay for Russia. He doesn't have to go for surgery.
And what about in terms of, we saw him on the podium in Argentina. Were you kind of almost, it was a big surprise, but were you almost expecting it because of what he did in the preseason? You know, he won some good races in the Italian series, for instance.
Yeah, sure. You know, he won. I mean, he won the Nations last year,
Yeah.
and then the preseason races. So we totally expected him to be on the podium a few times, or you know, like even more. And also from his goal, you know, he always said that he wanted to be world champion this year. So that's why we could expect him on the podium. But still, you know, it was a big change for him this winter. You know, he changed brand, he changed the team. He went from a factory team to a small new MX2 team.
Yeah, yeah.
So totally to be on the first run on the podium was unexpected for that.
And what about Bass? Obviously, he's been hovering around the top 10. Very lucky last week with this. You know, could have been so much worse, couldn't it? Because of what happened afterwards, which we didn't see, by the way. He got hit by, I think, Bernardini, didn't he, on the landing?
Yeah, actually, I saw it live, and I was really scared. I was
Yeah.
really scared that something wrong happened to him because it was a really big one. And unfortunately for Bass, you know, he definitely is not where he should be,
Yeah.
because he's riding much more better during the week. And I think he just need a little bit more chance and, you know, get everything together to be where he can be. And I'm sure he will do some top 5 pretty soon, actually. So he's a really talented kid and worker. He's working really hard. So now he just need to fix some small problem. We are working on it, and I think it will be good soon.
But overall, you're happy with the way he's riding, though?
Yes, for sure. I'm really happy. You know, it's also the point to not forget that he spent almost the last year completely injured. He did like 5 or 6 rounds only. You cannot come back from a year of injury and be already on top. You know, it's pretty hard for him because of that. So we are working step by step, and I don't want to put pressure on him. You know, I just give him the time to get back where he needs to be. So I'm totally happy about what's going on at the moment. I just wish better result for him, actually, for his confidence, than for me or for the team. You know,
Sure.
I just believe he can do it. So give me more rounds, and you will be there.
Good.
Okay, well, we couldn't have you leave the show, Livy, without bringing out a little throwback from 2009.
Okay.
We're going to show you a clip where you went 1-2 to take the overall. Perhaps one of the highlights of your career. I mean, when you look at these things back, do you miss the racing side?
No, I don't actually. You know, I've been racing since so many years. You know, fighting for titles and everything. That I was just a little bit over all this. You know, I just wanted something new, and actually being a team manager and being here around is something that I really enjoy. Of course, you know, when you see this kind of image, you can miss, you know, this feeling of winning and everything. But honestly, when Hunter was on the podium in Argentina, I had exactly the same feeling that if it was me. You know, I was so happy for him. And the first time he won the preseason race in Riola, you know, he won the race, and yeah, I was there happy, but like even more than if it was me winning a preseason. You know, so.
Yeah.
No, totally. I have no regret at all. I was in Arco looking at the race from the WMX and enjoy watching races. And not even 1 second, I was thinking, I could be there. No, actually, I'm happy. I'm happy to be team manager. I'm happy to still see them riding, and no regrets.
All right.
Fantastic. Well, we have some
Just one, I think.
questions
Yeah,
for
just
you
one. We have
on
time because we're
social
almost
media.
out of time.
We have the one from
Stefan.
Stefan Eckerold. Is it easier or perhaps harder to find sponsors and partners for the team as a female team boss manager? Because if it's easier, maybe we should let more women into the sport on the management side of things to bring in more outside sponsors to motocross.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's easier or harder. You know, it's just, you know, a matter of finding sponsors, a matter of time.
I think that depends on the team and the riders you have. And
it depends on a lot of things. I'm not sure that being a woman would help me on this. Maybe a little bit, you know, because it depends also with who you are talking.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
if like the director is a man, maybe it's easier when you're a woman, but then if it's a girl, maybe not. You know,
Sure.
you never know. It depends on a lot of things.
Just an interesting point, anyway.
Yeah,
and,
of course, you know, it depends on the riders and everyone, you know. So I'm not sure that it helped me, but I would love to see more women team manager. Then it's a matter of who wants to do it, and
Sure.
you know, like it's not easy. It's a tough world, you know. Like we are not a lot of girls to be there, and I think we have to prove that we belong there, and so I have always a lot of respect from anyone, and I'm happy about it, and I really wish that more girls would try because yeah, it's great
Sure.
to be there.
All right, Livy, thanks for spending time with us here this
Thank
afternoon.
you.
But we are out of time, and you can obviously catch all the action on MXGP TV today. 4:25 is the gate drop for MX2 qualifying, 5:10 for MXGP qualifying. Hope you've enjoyed the show today. We'll be back in a couple of weeks in Russia. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.